We often travel to escape ourselves, to dissolve into unfamiliar streets, to forget the clockwork of our own lives. But Italy in early summer doesn't let you disappear. It makes you come alive. Milan's marble and stone shimmer like polished seashells beneath a bold blue sky, and Lake Como bursts with flowers so vivid they almost hum. This is not a journey of retreat. It's a celebration of being present, of moving with color instead of against it. Somewhere between Milan's confident rhythm and Como's serene bloom, I found not a place to hide, but a reminder to live deliberately. Duomo Square is a living stage. The cathedral's spires rise like frozen music, and beneath them, life hums in 1,000 small details. The stones beneath have borne centuries of footsteps, yet they seem to hold their ground, weathered but proud, as if every passerby has added to their story. Espresso drifts from cafes, laughter ricochets off the Galleria's magnificent glass dome, and everywhere, people move with purpose. Joggers in sleek fitness attire weaving through the crowd, professionals in sharp suits striding past, women in flowing summer dresses, dog walkers pausing as their pups patiently waiting for instructions. All of life moving together in one grand, unplanned choreography. It struck me how intentional everything felt. Not in a stiff or artificial way, but as if the city itself inspires people to rise to its level. We're taught to distrust this kind of polish, to see it as vanity. But here, I saw it differently. It isn't about showing off. It's about showing up. Milan teaches that confidence isn't something you wait to feel. It's something you decide to wear. Maybe that's where confidence begins. Not in waiting to feel it, but in acting as if you already do. Sometimes the clothes are just fabric, but sometimes they're a promise you make to yourself. And Milan doesn't just dress itself well. It cooks with the same conviction. Forget pizza and pasta for a moment. This city serves risotto alla Milanese, golden with saffron, a dish as luxurious as silk. Ossobuco, veal shank braised so tender it barely holds to the bone, speaks of patience and craft. And pasta alla Ruota, finished inside a massive wheel of cheese, turns dining into theatre. Milan feeds you substance wrapped in spectacle, reminding you that joy can be both nourishing and bold. To explore Milan, hop on its trams. Ours carried us through Piazza Castello, where the fountain sparkled before the fortress-like towers of Sforzesco Castle. A place that has stood through battles and renaissances, now welcoming families and art lovers alike. Through Parco Sempione, the city exhales. The path leads to the Arco della, Milan's Arch of Peace, where open sky frames this monumental reminder of triumph. Cities like Milan move quickly. Trams clatter, people stride, schedules fill. But in the park, time slows. Children play, couples stroll, strangers sit quietly on benches. Parks are spaces that remind us to breathe within it. Like the city itself, we can't always move at full speed. We need pauses to sustain the motion. Inside the cathedral, sunlight pours through stained glass, painting the pillar in pools of crimson and amethyst, like the church itself is breathing in color. The Duomo is not just towering spires and solemn arches, it's a masterpiece underfoot. Circles within squares, interlocking patterns in black, white, and dusty rose. I felt like I was stepping on centuries of devotion, every tile laid by a hand that believed in something lasting. Standing here, I feel part of something bigger. This cathedral took nearly 6 centuries to complete, and standing inside it, I see why. Greatness takes time. It makes me hopeful. Maybe the dreams we're building, slow and steady, are no less magnificent just because they're unfinished. From the rooftop of the Duomo, your first glimpse is framed by the lace-like spires of the cathedral itself. Stone tips carved so finely, they almost look like frozen music. Then Milan stretches in every direction. Red-tiled roofs giving way to sleek modern skyscrapers and angular structures that rise against the perfect blue sky. A city forever balancing past and future. The next morning, we left Milan's grandeur behind and headed north. The highway unfurled beneath a sky brushed with soft white clouds, framed by rows of green trees on either side. In the distance, mountains appeared as faint silhouettes, like a promise waiting on the horizon. As we drove further, the city's pulse faded, replaced by birdsong and the occasional toll of a distant church bell. And then Lake Como appeared, a mirror of sky and mountain, so still it felt like the world was holding its breath. Our first stop was Lecco, a quieter town on the lake's southeastern edge. Then we drove uphill toward Piani Resinelli. We passed clusters of colourful houses, orange, yellow, pale pink, lined by old stone walls. A turquoise motorcycle zipped ahead of us, a flash of brightness against the red rooftops and vivid green trees. Higher up, the houses softened into warm wood tones, with immaculate gardens bursting with roses and lavender. And then, as we climbed further, the world fell away. No houses, just winding roads, leading us quietly into the forested slopes. At a bend in the road, we were greeted by a meadow that stopped us in our tracks. Tall grass standing still in the summer sun, speckled with tiny white and yellow flowers. A lone farmhouse resting against a backdrop of deep green trees. It looked less like reality and more like a painting. Simple, perfect, alive. We parked our car and the hike began. The path carried us past Casa Museo Via Girosa and into the woods. Tall, slender trees rose around us, their leaves forming a gentle canopy that filtered the sunlight into dappled gold. The air was cool, the slope kind, and each step felt like an invitation to slow down. At the observatory's edge, the view unfolded like a secret revealed. Lake Como stretched far below, an expanse of deep blue cradled by mountains. We stood there in silence, the world falling away at our feet. This wasn't a place to rush toward. We were already at the very place we'd been hoping to reach. At the top of the observatory, the scene was almost unreal. The lake lay perfectly still, a mirror of the sky above. No boats, no sound, just calm. Clouds lined up in a straight row above the green peaks, as if nature itself had paused to admire the view. We had the entire place to ourselves, and for a moment, it felt like the world belonged only to us. This hike reminds me that beauty often asks for effort. Each step upwards slowed us down, forced us to notice the scent of pine, the quiet crunch of gravel, the way distant peaks revealed themselves, little by little. Travel has a way of stripping life back to its honest pace. In a world that sells speed as happiness, here you learn that the best views, like the best things, ask you to earn them. Maybe that's why traveling always feels so rewarding. The road down from Piani Resinelli curled through tunnels and hugged the lake's edge. We passed clusters of colorful buildings, drove along narrow one-lane roads, the pace slow but soothing. Every so often, the lake would appear through a gap between houses, a flash of shimmering blue that made the wait for the next glimpse even sweeter. Before long, Varenna came into view, a cluster of warm-hued houses perched on the edge of the water. Even from a distance, it looked like a postcard came to life. Arriving in Varenna, the lake spread before us like glass. Its surface calm, ferries and small boats resting at the sides of the pier. Lake Como overwhelms with beauty. Villas bloom with flowers. Water glimmers like liquid silver. Lunch by the water felt like a dream. This isn't untouched wilderness. It's beauty guided by human hands. Villas crowned with terraced gardens rise gracefully from the shore. Pots of bright pink petunias spill over balconies, vibrant against centuries-old stone. Slender cypress trees punctuate the scene like exclamation marks of green. It's nature and human ambition in harmony, proof that care can make beauty last. As our boat left the pier, Varenna unfolded behind us. Colourful buildings stacked against the mountainside, their facades in warm reds, oranges and turquoise. Tall, narrow windows caught the sunlight, and pockets of greenery spilled between the houses. A perfect mosaic of human and nature clinging to the cliffs. On the water, the world was blue. Deep blue lake beneath us. Pale blue mountains fading into the distance. Endless blue sky above. As we drew closer to Bellagio, those faded mountains turned vibrant green, covered in trees. Bellagio emerged like a jewel at the meeting of the lake's arms. Rooftops glowing terracotta, church towers rising above a cluster of pastel buildings, all set against a lush hillside. From the pier, we walked to Punta Spartivento, where two branches of the lake meet. This is the point where the lake forks into two arms, and standing there feels like holding the heart of Como in your hands. Bellagio is the lake's jewel. Narrow cobblestone streets, climbing between pastel houses, boutiques spilling with silk scarves and handmade leather, and everywhere, glimpses of water glinting at the end of an alleyway. Lake Como showed me that beauty doesn't always grow untended. Gardens need gardeners. Joy needs structure. Discipline isn't the enemy of passion. It's the trellis that lets it climb. Maybe our lives, like these shores, need architecture. Small, deliberate habits. Our own villas and stone walls that hold space for what we love to flourish. We left Varenna and headed toward Azienda Agricola Sorsasso. The late afternoon light turned the drive into something golden, the sun low in the sky, making the tops of roadside bushes glow yellow. Ahead, the sky stretched baby blue, streaked with thin lines of cloud, and the mountains were striped with sunlight, some parts bright, others in cool shadow. Joggers passed by on the roadside, cars zipped in both directions, life unfolding in a dozen small scenes all at once. And yet, somehow it felt serene. Maybe it was the view. Or maybe, just maybe, it was me finally learning to let the world move without rushing to catch it. And then, just when I thought I'd absorbed all I could, Italy offered one last gift, the hour before evening, when the country seems to breathe together. Aperitivo. We dined at Azienda Agricola Sorsasso, a family-run vineyard overlooking the lake. 4 courses, each paired with their own wine. The air was filled with conversation, laughter, the rhythm of glasses clinking. Time, for a moment, loosened its grip. This ritual isn't about the drink, it's about the pause. A collective exhale between the demands of the day and the intimacy of night. The Italians have it right. We need boundaries, rituals that tell us this part of the day has ended. Now another begins. Maybe for us it's not an aperitivo. Maybe it's a cup of tea, a short walk, the deliberate act of closing a laptop and sitting still for 5 breaths. These small pauses are how we let one version of ourselves rest, so another can rise. We spent our last morning at Hotel Regina, gazing at the lake from its private beach. The water shimmered as if to remind us, nothing this beautiful can be kept, only remembered. Breakfast was served in the garden, right by the lake. Tables shaded by trees, birds chirping in the branches above. The morning sun cast everything in a gentle glow. The flowers in the garden seemed brighter, the coffee richer, the lake itself a deeper blue. It felt like the world was quietly celebrating our last morning there. Soon after, we packed up and drove north, toward the Swiss border. As we left, I thought of the flowers blooming along Como's shores, how they thrive because someone cared enough to tend them. That's Italy's gift, a belief that beauty isn't just found, it's made. It's in the marble spires of Milan, the gardens of Bellagio, the laughter over a shared bottle of wine. And maybe that's the art of living, to craft each day with the same intention, to choose our colors boldly, to pause and savor what we've built. And when evening comes, to look at the world, whether it's a Lombardy lake or your own kitchen window, and know with a soft certainty, I was here. I made this day mine.